Hi everyone. Today we are going to be looking at how to use the Tvm Solver app in your finance applications on your TI-84 graphing calculator. In quantitative reasoning, you are looking at a finance unit and you're covering a lot of different topics concerning finance, including debt, mortgages, loans, retirement plans, savings plans, a lot of different financial situations. And all of these involve formulas, and you've been crunching the numbers, okay? But some of those formulas get quite ugly. And in this day and age, having technology around us really helps with making sure that we're not making little algebra mistakes in those formulas. So we want to utilize that technology, and what we have is our graphing calculator. On the graphing calculator, we have apps, just like a smartphone would have apps. Now, the one issue is, as you're sitting there looking at your calculator, everybody's calculator is going to be slightly different in terms of what apps are built into it. We are looking for this first app that's called Finance. If you don't have this on your calculator, under your apps button, please let your instructor know, and if you're interested in having it on your calculator, we can make that happen, okay? If you're not a technology person and you would just rather crunch the numbers in the formula, that's fine, you go ahead and do it. Either way, you do have to show work for these problems. If you're using the formula, then you need to write down the formula, show the arithmetic as you go. If you're using the calculator, you're going to have to show your instructor exactly what you're typing into the calculator. So either way, work needs to be shown, and answer cannot just appear out of thin air. So we're going to go ahead and open this Finance app. Notice that my cursor's on number 1 here, that black rectangle, that highlighting's on 1. I'm going to push enter, and we are going to use this Tvm Solver right here, Tvm Solver, okay, time, value, money. Push enter. I'm going to change my view a little bit here to make my buttons larger. Now my screen is off to the side, okay. When you open this Tvm Solver, there are 7 different values that you need to enter. And that's the trickiest part of this app, is just to understand what they're asking for. If you look on Canvas in the worksheet that is included on this assignment, I have these variables all spelled out, okay? And the scenario that we are going to be working through is the scenario that's spelled out in that worksheet also. So if you're a visual person, I thought this video might help, but if you're a person that would rather read through a step-by-step worksheet on how to enter this in, that is spelled out on the worksheet, okay? So just realize that we're kind of covering it both ways here. We're covering it on the video, but the worksheet is walking you through it again, okay? So the easiest way to understand these variables is to look at a situation. So here's the story that's laid out, again, that's also on the worksheet. So the average home price is $154,985. And let's say we are interested in buying this house. We are wanting to take out a 30-year loan, and the interest rate is 4.73%. And we want to know what that monthly payment will be, okay? To figure that out, if you're using a formula, you'd have to go find the appropriate formula, enter in all the information that it needs, and then run the numbers, do the math. Here, you just have to tell what these variables are. The calculator has the formula built in, and it will do the number crunching for us, okay? So the very first letter, the very first variable that they're asking is capital N, and that stands for the total number of payments. I want to emphasize that's not just per year, okay? So if something was an interest that was compounded monthly, we know that means 12 times a year. I'm not just looking for 12 here. I'm looking for the total number of payments. So if you're doing it monthly over 30 years, I'm looking for 12 times 30 here, the total number of payments. So in this problem, we are looking at monthly payments, monthly interest, okay? And over 30 years. So we are looking at a 12 times 30 situation. So I'm going to type in 12 times 30. I'm going to push enter. Notice when I do that, it automatically does that math for me. 12 times 30, it filled that in as 360. The next variable that it's asking about is the annual interest rate. Annual interest rate. It tells me here that our interest rate is 4.73%. Now this, I think, is the strangest thing on this app. It really confuses people. I want you to write this as a percentage. In other words, I want this number right here because it fills in the percent for us. Do not change that into a decimal. Don't move that decimal 2 places to the left like we're used to doing. Don't do that. So that's the trickiest difference between the formula, if you're calculating by hand, and the calculator. Here I want it as the actual number. PV stands for present value. That's how much you're investing at the very beginning of the period, or how much, if you're taking out a loan, how much that's going to be. It's the value that you're looking at the very, very beginning. So in this case, we are looking at a mortgage, a loan of $154,985. We're taking that money from the bank, we're borrowing it. So I want to put in a positive 154,985. I'm going to talk about that positive versus negative in just a second. Okay, payment. That's our next one, PMT, payment. And that's the payment amount that you're going to make every period. Okay. In this case, that's the thing that we don't know. We want to know, do we have to pay $500 a month? Do we have to pay $800 a month? How much would this mortgage end up being per month? Okay, so we're going to leave that blank for the moment. It will want a number there. The default is just to put a 0 in, so I'm just going to leave that as 0, even though I know that it's really not 0. The next thing is future value. This is, if you're saving money, what you want to save in the very end, or if you're taking a loan out, what you want that loan balance to be at the very end. Okay, so in this case, we were taking out a loan of $154,985. I want that to be 0 in the end. I want to pay it all off. The last 2 pieces are payments per year, payment periods per year, and compounding periods per year. Those are going to be linked, okay? And that basically it's asking how many times per year are you going to be paying, or how many times is the interest going to be compounded. So we're looking at monthly payments. So that's 12 payments per year. And notice that the compounding per year automatically filled in. These are linked together. So whatever you put in here is going to automatically fill in here. The very last thing is payment. And we want to know, is that payment at the end of the month or the beginning of the month? The default is the end of the month. In this class, we are not going to be focusing on that technicality too much. So we're going to leave it at the end of the month there. Okay. So we filled in everything that we knew, but the only thing that we didn't was what that payment amount was, and that's the thing that we want. So in general, for these problems, you're going to know all these pieces of information except one, okay? And that one thing that you don't know is what we want to solve for. If you look on the calculator above your enter key, on my calculator it's in green, we want to solve for that value. Since on my calculator it's green, I'm going to push alpha, enter, okay? And it's going to come up with our payment amount here. Move this over, okay? A payment of $806.61. So this is telling us if I was taking out a loan of $154,985, a mortgage, okay, a loan for a house, at this interest rate, over 30 years, I would have to be making a payment of $806.61 every month for 30 years. Okay, so again, the mindset of this app is that you're going to be filling in all these guys, all these variables here. One of them you're not going to know, and you're going to ask for that to be solved by doing alpha solve. Once you get that value, you should be able to answer your problem. Okay, good luck. Again, these directions are spelled out on the worksheet on Canvas, so if you're not a video person, you can follow the step-by-step guidelines in Canvas. Good luck.